Jai Hind to all. Very good morning to you. In the continuation of lecture series of power system subject, and in addition to it, this subject is important for the interviews and your conventional examinations, competitions like SSC, UPSC, AE, and other examinations. So this is the topic was taken to be consideration for your study. So I have discussed the different types of uh, supplies systems. After that, I would discuss the different types of uh, distribution systems depending upon the nature of supply, construction, and the other things. So, uh, as far as the topic is concerned, the today lecture is distribution system, and the primary focus is the primary and secondary distribution, and other point will be the designing consideration in distribution system. Other point is what are the requirements and the needs for a distribution system in the overall power system operation and control, that is PSOC. And the last point is classification of distribution system. So if we talk about the primary and the secondary distribution system, so this is the basic layout or a structure of distribution system which I have discussed in a previous lecture or a previous topic. So that I have discussed earlier. This is the generation point. This is generation station. Okay, and this is the transmission customer side, and that is the voltage uh, ranges from 138 kV up to 230 kV depending upon the voltage level. And this is the substation part or a consumer side, and this is a transmission part. So you all know that the power system consists of three parts. First one is the generating unit, that is the generation station. Second one is transmission part, and the third one is distribution or a consumer side. So these are the consumer sides. So we can say that this is a primary customer or a primary consumer, and the voltage level is 13 kV and 4 kV, and this is the secondary customer side. This voltage varies from 120 volt to 240 volt, and this is the basic block diagram of distribution system which I have discussed earlier in a detail. Okay, so if we see uh, the primary and the secondary distribution, so distribution system starts with 11 kV and that 13 kV. So 11 kV and the 13 kV voltage levels, where these voltage levels are directly distributed to the industries and the heavy load like railway and traction and the other things, as well as a industrial side or a industrial load or a commercial load. So this voltage level distribution is called as a primary distribution in a power system operation and control. So 11 kV and the 30 kV, these are the high voltage and which are used and utilized for a higher voltage side in a commercial, industrial, and the railway traction purposes. So these are the heavy loads. In the secondary side, the second level is use of 440 volt and 230 volt, where the domestic consumers or a small scale appliances used for this voltage usage level. So if we talk about the primary side voltage or a primary distribution voltage, that is to be 11 kV or 33 kV for this range. And if we talk about the secondary distribution, that is secondary distribution, that is 440 volt or 230 volt. This is very from 220 to 15, etc. Okay, so this is to be treated as a secondary voltage that is used for a domestic or a small scale purpose. Okay, so if we see the primary distribution system, the voltage used for primary distribution depends upon the total amount of power to be conveyed and the distance of the substation required to be fed. Okay, the most commonly used primary distribution voltages are 11 kV and 6.6 kV and 3.3 kV. So these are the commonly used voltage levels for primary distribution voltage for a power system. Okay. In the other side, and due to the economic considerations, primary distribution is carried out by three-phase, three-wire system. Uh, what is three-phase and three-wire system? This is the kind of supply which we used in the power system operation control. The detailed structure of different types of power supply is already given to you, already described to you. So in this primary distribution system, uh, for the economic consideration, it carries out by three-phase, three-wire system. It is important keyword and the important point that may be asked in a short question or a multiple type of questions. So this is the pictorial schematic diagram of primary distribution system. Okay, so if we talk about the secondary distribution system, so it is the part of AC distribution system which includes the range of voltage at which the ultimate consumer utilizes the electrical energy delivered to it. And the secondary distribution employs a 440 or 230 volt for three phase three wire system. It is also used as which is carried out three phase three wire, and in some applications is used as three phase four wire system. Okay, so the voltage ranges and the voltage levels are to be known for the primary and the secondary distribution system. Okay, other point uh, is that what are the design considerations parameters which are responsible for the efficient and the smooth conditioning of distribution system. So good voltage regulation of a distribution network is probably the most important factor which is responsible for delivering a good service or a power quality to the consumers. For this purpose, design of feeders and the distributor requires careful consideration. I have already described about the feeders, distributors, and the servicemen, and the comparison between the feeder and the distributor is already given to you and described in a detailed way. Okay, so this is the small description about the feeder. So listen to me very carefully. What is feeder? A feeder is a design from the point of view of its current carrying capacity, while the voltage drop consideration is relatively unimportant. In the feeder, the current carrying capacity is high, and the current is almost uniform in the feeder side. In the distributor side, the voltage is considerably important as compared to the current. Why? It is because voltage drop in a feeder can be compensated by means of voltage regulating equipment at the substation. Okay, if we talk about the distributors, so a distributor is designed from the point of view of the voltage drop in it, because the voltage level or a voltage consideration, it's utmost important thing in when we will discuss about the distributors. Okay, it is because a distributor supplies power to the consumers, and there is a statutory limit of the voltage variation at a consumer's terminals, which is to be plus minus 6% of rated value. This is the important keyword term when we discuss the distributor for a distribution system. The voltage range is very much important, that is plus minus 6%, and the voltage remains same. It is uniform during all the operation, but in the case of feeder, the current will be same, and in the distributor the voltage will be same. Other point is that the size and the length of distributor should be such that voltage at the consumer's terminal is within the permissible limit. It is obvious and it is important for designing consideration. Okay. So if we see what are the necessity, what are the needs and the requirements of a distribution system, so the first one is proper voltage. So, yeah, for optimum voltage of proper voltage. One important requirements of a distribution system is that the voltage variation at a consumer or a customer at terminal should be as low as possible. It is important point. Okay, the changes in the voltage are generally caused due to the variation of load on the system. Uh, Please see this point. The changes in voltage are generally caused due, due to the variation of load on the customer side in a system. Low voltage causes loss of revenue, inefficient lighting, and the possible burning out of motors. High voltage causes lamps to burn out the permanently and may cause failure of other appliances as well in the uh, overall system. Therefore, hence, a good distribution system should ensure the voltage variation at a consumer ter- terminals with a suitable range with a permissible limits. Okay, the statutory limit of voltage variation is plus minus 6% of the rated value. It is very important for your examination point of view. It may be asked for a multiple type questions or a short questions as well in your various examinations. So it is plus minus 6% of the rated value at the consumer's terminals. Thus, if the declared voltage is 233 volt, then the highest voltage of the consumer should not be exceeded 244 volt, while the lowest voltage of the consumer should not be less than 216 volt or 216 volt. So this is the highest range, 244 volt, and the lowest range, that is 216 volt. So the question may be asked in a different manner as a multiple choice questions. The highest or a maximum or a and a minimum range of voltage in distribution system are. So it may be 220, 248, 216, 244, 2 two triple two, and the 250. So in this type of the sets are to be given and to choose the right option. So the highest voltage is 244 volt and the lowest voltage is 216, that is 216 volt. Okay. And availability of power on demand. So power supply must be or a power supply must be available to the consumer in any amount that they may require from time to time or a instantaneous time. For example, we may take it as motors may be started or shut down, lights may be turned on and turn off without advance warning to the electric supply company. So it is depend on end, and it's depend on consumer side. It's a instantaneous moment to switch on and off the electrical appliances without advances warning to the electrical supply company. As the other side, electrical energy cannot be stored, therefore the requirements of distribution system must be capable of supplying load demands of the consumers. So this is very important phenomenon, as electrical energy cannot be stored, we all know. Therefore the requirement of distribution system must be capable of supplying load demands of the consumers. It also depends upon the consumer side, their requirement, their need. Okay. And the other point is reliability. Modern industry and the heavy loads such as railway traction and the other things are almost dependent on the electrical power for its operation. uh, Homes and offices buildings are light, heated, cooled, and ventilated by the electrical power supply. So this calls for the reliable service. So I think the meaning of reliable is clear from these examples. Unfortunately, the electrical power, like everything else that's in a man-made, can never be absolute reliable. Okay. However, the reliability can be improved to a considerably extent by some of the systems. First one is interconnected system. Second one is reliable automatic control system, and the third one is providing additionally reserve facilities to continuation of power from one end to the another end for a complete time. So reliability somehow depends upon other time also, because it serves the all time availability of an electrical supply. So these are the some considerations which are to be taken as a reference for the improving of reliability. First one is interconnected system, second one is reliable automatic control system, and the third one is providing additionally reserve facilities when we require, we may use it. Okay. Another thing is that different types of classifications of distribution system. So depending upon the nature of current, so it is divided into the two parts: DC distribution system, and the other part is AC distribution system. If we talk about the types of construction, so it is overhead system and another one is underground system. when we see the scheme of connection, so this is also divided into the three categories. First one is radial system, second one is ring main system, and the third one is interconnected system. Okay, so these are the classifications of distribution system for a power system operation and control for a layout perspectives. Okay, so if we see the radial distribution system, so this system is used only when substation or a generating station is located at the center of consumers. So this is the main keyword. This is used only when the substation or a generating station is located or a center of consumers. So this is the, and the other point is this, thus the main characteristics of a radial distribution system is that the power flow is in only one direction. So the single line diagram of a typical radial distribution system is as shown in the figure. This is the layout or a one line single line diagram of a radial distribution system. Okay, so this is the SLT, single line diagram of radial distribution system. These type of systems are already described in class, in a very structured, systematic, and a detailed manner. So this is the overview. So I am discussing, and the other one is ring main distribution system. There are fewer voltage fluctuations at consumers terminal. The system is very reliable as distribution transformer is fed with two feeders. That means in the event of a fault in any section of the feeder, the continuity of the supply is ensured from the alternatively path. So in this case, there are the two feeders are used. If one fails, the second is responsible for a efficient and the smooth operation of power supply when the one fails to operate. So this ring main distribution system is widely used. So this is the pictorial diagram, and this is the substation part, and this is distributor, and there are the two feeders are used, and this is the important phenomena in a ring main distribution system. If we talk about the interconnected distribution system, so when a ring main feeder is energized by two or more substation or a generating stations, then it is called as a interconnected distribution system. So an interconnected distribution system, when a ring main feeder is energized two or more than two substations, so this is called as an interconnected distribution system. This ensures reliability in an event for transmission failure. Also, any area fed from one generating station during the peak load hours can be fed from the other generating station or a substation that meeting power requirement from increased load. So thank you. I have discussed the different types of uh, distribution system and their layouts, structure in a very detailed manner. I hope you will see the lectures and to uh, discuss the other things as well if you have any query.